Hi, my name is Bibek Adhikari. I am your English instructor. In today's class, we are going to solve the reading portion of Unit 8, that is, a lesson from the grass cutter. In this section, we shall be learning about how the poet Bhanuvakta Acharya got inspired from the grass cutter. So, let's begin. Alright, in today's class, we are going to learn about the reading portion of Unit 8, under which we shall be learning about the famous Nepali poet Bhanuvakta Acharya. So, the text is entitled A Lesson from a Grass Cutter, and under this section we shall be learning about life story of Bhanuvakta and how he got inspired. So his story of inspiration. Right then, so we shall be learning about two things, like I said earlier, the life story of Bhanuvakta and his moment of inspiration. So let's begin. A lesson from a grass cutter. Bhanuvakta Acharya was born in 1814 BS in Chundiramga in the district of Tanau and was educated at home by his grandfather, Sri Krishna Acharya. His father Dhananjaya Acharya was a government official who worked for the General Amar Singh Thapa, governor of Palpa in the western Nepal. Bhanuvakta was a young boy from a wealthy family and was leading a comfortable life. One day he went for a walk. He was so tired after the walk that he lay down under the shade of a tree on a rock and soon fell asleep. When he woke up, he saw a man sharpening a sickle on a piece of stone. Bhanuvakta went near to the man and asked him, "Where are you from and what is your occupation?" The man said, "I live nearby and earn my living as a grass cutter. My wife and two sons also do the same work. We earn a small amount of money by selling the grass, which is enough for our living." So this is the beginning of the inspirational story. Here, the famous, let's say, about to be famous poet Bhanuvakta Acharya. So he's the poet. The about to be poet actually meets a grass cutter, and by upon meeting the grass cutter, he asks a simple question like, "Where are you from and what is your occupation?" And that's how the conversation initiates. Let's go on reading. Let's find out what happens. Alright, Bhanuvakta here is only to be poet. He is not a poet right now, so he's going to be a poet. Let's find out how he actually becomes a poet. Bhanuvakta further asked, "Have you saved money for your future use?" The grass cutter replied, "I had a little saving, but I used it for digging a well from which the villagers and the travelers get water." After a little while he continued, "What is the use of saving money? When I die, I'll be remembered because of this well which I have built to quench the thirst of all men. I may be remembered even after 100 years. After listening to the grass cutter, Bhanuvakta felt ashamed of himself, and at the very moment he decided to do something for the common men. In those days, religious texts were written in the Sanskrit language. The common people could not understand them. Bhanuvakta decided to translate the Ramayana into the Nepali language so that all Nepali-speaking people could understand it. He translated the famous epic and hoped that he would be remembered forever. So this is what happened, after the encounter with the grass cutter. Bhanuvakta asked a simple question like, "Who are you? Where do you live and what is your occupation?" And after that seemingly insignificant encounter with the grass cutter, Bhanuvakta further asked, "Have you saved any money for your future?" Because he was interested to know about the life of the grass cutter. And the grass cutter replied, "What's the use of saving money? The whatever money I have, I spend it on social purposes like building a well, maybe." And after listening to this reply, Bhanuvakta felt ashamed of himself because he had not done anything significant to the society. Deciding that it should do something significant to the society, he went to India where he learned the Sanskrit language, came back, started translating the famous epic written by Valmiki into the Nepali language. So the Sanskrit Ramayana, which was actually written by Valmiki, later got translated into a Nepali one, so that all the people who shared a common tongue, all the Nepali speaking people, could finally read the Ramayana and understand its by doing this simple act of translation, Bhanubhakta hoped that he would be remembered forever. Wait, there's still more to it. Let's go on reading the text. His translation of Ramayana was so lyrical that it was more like a song than a poem. However, his creation was not published. It died in 1868 BS without receiving credit for his contribution. It was later in 1887 that Motiram Bhatta found his manuscript and printed it in Banaras, India. So this is an interesting, detail. Bhanubhakta wanted to be famous, or let's say wanted to be remembered for something. And in order to be, remembered for something, what he actually did was he translated the Sanskrit Ramayana into the Nepali language. And by doing so, he hoped that people who shared a common tongue, the Nepali language, would read the text and appreciate it and understand it, and understand the nuances of Ramayana. However, his creation was not published when he was alive. Later on, it was Motiram Bhatta who actually discovered the manuscript. And Motiram Bhatta, is believed to have done a lot to make Bhanubhakta not only popular among the Nepali-speaking people, however, to cement his position as a literator, as a literary figure. So it was Motiram Bhatta who actually did something good to Bhanubhakta. See, Bhanubhakta wanted to be famous, to be remembered. However, it was only because of Motiram Bhatta that he is now remembered and even worshipped. So that was the life story, or that was the life inspirational or the motivational story that Bhanubhakta learned from a grass cutter. Now moving onwards, we will do a few questions, then we will move on to the homework section. So let's go to the exercise section. In your exercise section, you will find questions, simple questions like, where was Bhanubhakta born? And the simple answer to that question is, he was born in Chundiramga in the district of Tanau. You will find the answer in the first sentence. Another question can be, what kind of life was he living when he was a young boy? So when he was a young boy, he was rather living a carefree life. He didn't care about anything else. One thing he cared about was making money. The kind of carefree yet money-minded life, a duality, a mixture of carefree life and a money-minded attitude. So that's the kind of life he was living when he was a young boy. Another question that might appear is, how did the grass cutter earn his living? And the answer is pretty simple. The grass cutter earned his living by cutting the grass. Some questions are like this one. What did grass cutter do with the money he had saved? So what did the grass cutter do? He in fact dug a hole with the money. He dug a well, not a hole. So with the money that was saved, the grass keeper dug a well so that the people and travelers like Bhanubhakta himself could drink water. Now, if you go to the vocab section, it's called Ways with Words. You will find some pretty simple questions. Like there's one question where you have to match two columns. And the column that is on the left-hand side, you will word wealthy. Now you have to match out of 13 different words, or let's say the phrases or cluster of words. From there you have to find the exact meaning of wealthy, and it is correct answer to that one is given number 3, having enough supply of money. The another word you will find is comfortable, and the answer to that word, or let's say the similar word, is number 6, free from stress, having peace of mind. Alright, let me try 2 more words. Number C is sickle. What's a sickle? Okay, the answer is a tool for cutting grass or crops. Another word that we have is number D, that is quench. And the meaning of quench is number 13, satisfy. And this time satisfy thirst. Okay, let me do one more. Number E is ashamed. And the meaning to that word is feeling shame or guilt. So like this, I guess you can go all the way to number M because the words are pretty easy. And on number 4, there's something called read and arrange, which I believe you can do yourself. Now I'm going to give you some homework. Since we have already discussed some of the questions, now I'm going to give you some remaining question as the homework. Answer the following questions. Alright then, these are the two questions. The first one is, why did Bhanubhakta decide to translate the Ramayana into the Nepali language? Another question is, who published the creation of Bhanubhakta? So I hope you know these questions are pretty easy to you, and maybe you'll be able to find them pretty easily in your book. With this, we have come to end of today's class. If you have any questions or suggestions regarding these video series, feel free to write us at learning@deerwalk.edu.np. Thank you.